A phased approach to businesses resuming. Expanded testing begins and police on high alert. Good morning, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinder, and welcome to the Morning Edition. This weekend's lockdown ends with a return of that 24-hour curfew as local health officials look to build on their successes and further curb COVID-19 numbers. No talk of COVID-19, though, is complete without some focus on its economic impact. To that, the Prime Minister yesterday shared a bit of good news for some businesses. Auto stores, plant nurseries, hardware and home stores, as well as Gladstone Road Farmers Market are all able to resume business this week. We're also told of the economic initiatives expected to boost the economy during and post this global pandemic. Altaviz Munnings explains in this report.
When it comes to addressing the national economy during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Ministry of Finance has been coordinating with the National Insurance Board, the Small Business Development Center, and the Department of Inland Revenue to make sure money is getting into the hands of thousands of Bahamians in need. And add to that, $25 million the Ministry of Finance has allocated to help small businesses with payroll support.
The Bahamas entered the COVID-19 pandemic with adequate foreign reserves to cover essential imports and to preserve the parity of the Bahamian dollar against the US dollar. The central bank is working closely with the Ministry of Finance to ensure that fiscal stabilization policies are balanced with adequate additional access to foreign currency through the borrowings which the government must undertake.
Prime Minister the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis pointed out in his national press conference Sunday that those stabilization policies will uphold domestic spending on essential needs, which must be satisfied through imports. He also noted that although government can acquire local financing, they must rely on some foreign currency borrowing to cushion the revenue shortfall.
Taking this active financing strategy into account, along with other foreign exchange market strategies that the central bank is pursuing, it is expected that the drawdown in foreign reserves will reach about $1 billion in 2021. This from a present healthy level of approximately $2 billion. The central bank expects that after 2020, net inflows of foreign currency through the private sector will begin to improve.
The Prime Minister has acknowledged that the COVID-19 pandemic is a global health and economic threat. And it's on that premise that he has assembled an economic recovery committee to advise government on the safe and gradual reopening of the economy.
During a meeting with the proposed members of the Economic Advisory Group, we discussed a number of issues: e-commerce, diversifying the economy, accelerating foreign direct investment projects, restoring the macroeconomy, and tourism. We will have to think boldly and creatively to boost jobs and economic activity, especially in terms of domestic production, tourism, construction, and local and foreign investment.
Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Sunday's national address also found the Prime Minister issuing a strong appeal to business owners who are in a strong financial position to do so to pump the brakes on laying off employees for as long as possible.
I am extremely disappointed when I see Bahamian companies laying off individuals who had worked with them 10, 20 years, who had made them wealthy, who had given them the opportunity to send their children to university, both here and abroad, who have given them opportunities for their children to become professionals and leaders in this country, who have given them opportunity to live in lavish homes and have great lives, individuals, Bahamians, who are from humble beginnings, but who have made sacrifices to make fellow Bahamians wealthy and living good. And yet, after all the sacrifices these Bahamians did, those who have attained wealth have laid off such Bahamians. I ask you, are you humane? Where is your heart? Where is your compassion? Do you have a soul?
Meantime, early this week, physicians, nurses, and medical technologists will head out into the community as testing expands. Here's who will be targeted.
Contacts of confirmed cases, especially those with symptoms. Healthcare personnel nearing the end of their quarantine period. Nursing and home care personnel, and individuals calling onto the hotline reporting concerning symptoms.